Hi, I'm Patrick Windhorst, State Representative for the 117th District, which is all or parts of 10 counties in southeastern Illinois. As many of you will remember, when this bill was being considered for debate, there were arguments made both in committee and on the House floor that the bill was unconstitutional. In fact, a lot of the arguments centered around the constitutionality of the then bill, the now law, that was passed. We had a very short time frame under which this bill was considered and then ultimately came for a vote. And then finally, when it received the governor's signature. From the start of the first hearing on the bill until the governor's signature was approximately 41 days. Since that time, of course, we have had several lawsuits challenging the constitutionality of the law, lawsuits in federal and in state court. The most current, you heard from Representative Calkins and the success of his lawsuit in Macon County. Where there was also a lawsuit filed in Effingham County where a temporary restraining order was granted. That was appealed to the 5th District. The 5th District upheld the temporary restraining order, upholding that the law was unconstitutional. That ruling of the 5th District is binding on all trial courts in the state of Illinois until there is a contradictory ruling by another appellate court or by the Illinois Supreme Court. So what we're establishing is there is precedent that this law is unconstitutional from a trial court perspective, from an appellate court perspective, and we will soon have a ruling from the federal courts. Now, despite these rulings, Governor Pritzker and Attorney General Raoul have pressed forward with their messaging that these rulings only apply to a limited number of people, even though the law has been deemed unconstitutional. What we have is a lack of clarity and confusion about what is going on with the status of the law. So the question I have, and I think the question that should be posed to those in the executive branch is the state actively enforcing this law? If they are actively enforcing this law, why are they enforcing a law that courts have deemed as unconstitutional? Even though there are only certain parties to these cases, the Attorney General was involved in the case, the governor, of course, was involved in the case, and those decisions are binding upon them until a contrary ruling occurs. They should not be enforcing an unconstitutional law. And they need to express, if they are, why they are enforcing that law. So we have argued that the law is unconstitutional. The courts have vindicated that argument to this point. And now those in the executive branch who are attempting potentially to enforce the law with those rulings need to explain why that's occurring.